Mr. Sivati, Rector of the Diplomatic Academy of Ukraine, Excellency Mr. Boris Sarasuk, former Foreign Minister and Member of Parliament, my dear diplomatic colleagues on the dais, other dignitaries, professors and academicians of this university, of this academy, young, bright diplomats, practicing diplomats, and future diplomats of Ukraine, ladies and gentlemen. It is indeed an honor and a pleasure to get an opportunity to come here on this occasion and stand in front of you like this. But before I go to any substantive part of my speech, let me just inquire from you. I hope my English is fine with you. You are able to understand me properly? All right. Thank you. Excellency Mr. Sarasuk has explained the current position in which Ukraine is existing, is passing through. And also he has said a little bit about how Ukraine and the world can cooperate together. Apart from the problems at the borders of Ukraine, I believe what Ukraine needs at this moment very surely is a dynamic economy, economic progress for its people. The more people in Ukraine are economically strong, the country is economically strong, it will have its rightful place in the community of nations. With that belief in mind, I will present to you a case study as to how a country like India can be of assistance to Ukraine's economic and political development. This case study deals with the possibilities that lie between our two great nations. So let me begin by giving a small introduction. India and Ukraine have had close and traditional friendship. India was one of the first countries to recognize the independence of Ukraine and set up diplomatic relationship. Indian embassy was opened in Kyiv as early as on May 1992. In the last 24 years, both countries have signed a large number of agreements to cover almost all important areas of cooperation in the field of diplomatic, economic, trade, cultural, consular, science and technology, defense, and education-related areas, amongst many others. There has been a healthy exchange of delegations and the VIP visits also. Both countries cooperate in the international fora on matters of global concern. Trade relationship between the two countries have been significant. In 2013, bilateral trade between India and Ukraine was nearly $3 billion. India was the 7th largest trading partner for Ukraine. Obviously, in the last 2 years, things have not been very positive. And in 2015, our total trade came down to about $1.84 billion. But significantly, even before and then as recent as 2015, the trade balance has always been in favor of Ukraine. In 2015, our total trade was 1.84 billion, but Ukraine had a trade surplus of nearly $1 billion. So, India has already proved to be assisting the economy of Ukraine. In 2015, India was rated as the fastest growing economy, large-size economy by IMF. Other agencies like the World Bank, UNCTAD, Financial Times, Sullivan, and etc., everybody has been very positive about not only India's economic development in 2015, but has also predicted a very healthy growth rate in the near future. This growth has to be sustained, and India requires to make use of the opportunities provided by its friends and partners all over the world for making it possible to achieve a win-win situation for both the sides. And this is my point. If India is big, if India is progressing faster, there is an opportunity in this for Ukraine. And I'm going to explain to you some of the features as to how this is going to happen. India considers Ukraine as an important partner in Central Europe, having the largest and the most fertile area in Europe and an educated and skilled population of nearly 44 million, Ukraine has a lot to offer India. India already has a substantial cooperation in the defense sector of Ukraine. India is also the largest export destination for sunflower oil from Ukraine. Now let us see some of the new possibilities as to what can happen between India and Ukraine in the near future. As I told you, India has been having a hugely rapid pace of economic growth. And to sustain this growth, Government of India has started many policies, and I'm going to mention three important ones which are significant for partnership with countries like Ukraine. The first is called Make in India program. Under this, 24 different sectors have been opened up by the Government of India for 100%, in most cases, 100% foreign direct investment, and including a sector like defense, which has always been a closed sector and only to be manned by government agencies, is now been opened for foreign direct investment, up to 49% without any problem, and in certain cases, if a foreign company applies for let's say 51 or higher percentage of partnership, even that is being considered. Not only that, private sector in India has also been allowed to come in the defense sector. This is very important for Ukraine because we already have a standing, very intensive defense cooperation. And we are working very seriously with minimum 3 companies in Ukraine with private partnership in India, large corporate worlds in India, to set up joint venture so that there is a win-win situation for both sides. There is also a possibility that the current buyer-seller relationship will change into a solid partnership between companies in Ukraine and companies in India. Second, India has embarked on a project to develop 100 smart cities, and these are to be established by 2030. These cities will have the most modern means of infrastructure, telecommunication, roads and transport network, among many other things. And here, once again, we have a lot of opportunities for Ukraine. The other day, a week ago, I was in Lviv, and I went to a company called Electron Trans, They make battery-operated buses and trams, electric run trams. And I told them that company like yours has a bright future in this program of Government of India. The third is called Industrial Corridor. India is making 5 industrial corridors from Delhi to Mumbai, Mumbai to Bangalore, Bangalore to Chennai, Chennai to Visakhapatnam, and from Amritsar to Kolkata. These are going to be super highways built in the next 5 years. 50 kilometers from these highways, both sides, special industrial zone has been created, where incentives will be granted by the Government of India for setting up any business. Also, these new setups, smart cities and all, will have housing projects. I know that Ukrainian companies have gone to South America to make housing projects. India can certainly be another target for them, and once they reach there, show their capability, you can imagine what kind of activity is going to take place in India. The population of India today is 1,250 million. 1,250 million. 1,250 million people. Not only that, we add 22 million people every year in our population, which is half of Ukraine. So half of Ukraine is added every year to the Indian population. 65% of this population is below the age of 35. 65% of Indian population becomes 850 million people. Imagine, 850 million people are below the age of 35. That is why India is known to be the youngest country in the world. And the problem with the government of India is how to skill them, how to provide means of education and means of employment to them. Foreign companies and foreign countries can take part in the skilling of Indian population business. You have very good experience as to how people can be prepared in your polytechnics, in your training centers for working in different industries. And this is the skill you are most welcome to come and give to the Indians and earn benefit of your home. Now on trade. There are new products which have great potential of export from Ukraine to India. And I will just take a very simple example to show what can form a new basket. India has a huge population of vegetarian people. And these vegetarian people use pulses, what broadly spoken as chicharits here, as their source of protein. And we eat this pulse twice every day. There is always a shortage of pulses. We import pulses all the way from Canada. 500,000 tons of pulses were imported from Canada last year. If we can import such huge amount of pulses from Canada, Ukraine is only half the distance, less than half the distance. Farmers in Ukraine, government in Ukraine, ministries in Ukraine need to concentrate on things which are required by this huge Indian population and then make effort to export it to India. Coming from export from India to Ukraine, in almost all such considerations, please note that I am emphasizing that if you import something from India, you are actually saving a lot of money for your own government. There are statistics to show that pharmaceutical products manufactured in India are of a very high and world-class quality, and they are extremely reasonably priced. There are statistics that if you buy $100 worth of pharmaceutical products from India, you are actually saving at least $200. Because of the same drugs, if these are imported from Europe or America, you will have to shell out $300. So, if you increase import of pharmaceutical products from India, you are actually saving a lot of money for your own country. This point needs to be understood by people because Indian drugs are not only world class. Before they are imported in Ukraine, your inspectors, GMP inspectors go to the Indian factories, they check the quality, they check the manufacturing. When these things come to India, they are also checked for their quality in your own labs. So there can be no divergent view about the quality of Indian pharmaceutical products. And imagine how much saving can government of India do, government of Ukraine do, if you import products, pharmaceutical products from India. I will just take one more example. Project execution. Recently, a transmission line of 750 kilowatt was inaugurated by the President on 21st December. This is a 750 kilowatt, 175 kilometer transmission line between Kiev and Rivne. This project was on an international tender funded by EBRD, and the Indian company won this tender facing competition from all other European countries. But they produced the project, they completed this project 9 months in advance. Today, all those people who were responsible for giving this project were hesitating to give it to an Indian company. All of them are extremely happy that the Indian companies have not only completed the project well in time, but also costed much less than any other European country. I am only saying that by having Indian companies, Indian products, you are actually saving your own money. Please keep that in mind. Tourism is another example. 30% of Indian population is as rich as Europeans or Americans. 30% of Indian population becomes nearly 370 million people. 370 million people are potential tourists. They go to all over the country, and today even the tour operators agency says that Indians are the second largest tourists in the world in terms of numbers, and they are the highest spenders as tourists. When they go out, they spend the highest amount of money. Now, just concentrate on 0.01% of this tourist population in India. 0.01% of this tourist population of India comes to 37,000 people. 37,000 people, if they can come to Ukraine every year and spend nearly $1,000 per head on an average, you are earning $37 million only through Indian tourists. And today, you know how many Indian tourists come to Ukraine? Zero. Why does it not strike anyone that you are losing a potential market? I will only mention two more things: training and scholarship. Government of India gives almost 40 scholarships to professionals in Ukraine to get trained in areas like IT, finances, auditing, drafting of legislature, and many others. There are 66 different areas in which full scholarship is given by Government of India. And not only that, there are 6,000 Indian students studying in Ukraine right now. Each student spends about $5,000 on the tuition fee, lodging and boarding, etc., etc. And if you just multiply these two numbers, Indian government is already investing $30 million in the education sector of Ukraine. And this number can increase at least 4 times because the current system of admission is very, very faulty. One depends on the middlemen and recruiting agency for getting an admission. Why can't it be opened on online admission just as Indian students go in large numbers to USA or for that matter any other country? Just apply online, get admission, there's no need to have a middleman. If this happens, I can promise you, more than 25,000 students will come to study in Ukrainian institutions every year. I hope these points make it clear as to how India can be a substantial partner for Ukraine and Ukraine's progress. I will only end my statement by inviting all of you to join us on the International Day of Yoga on 21st June. We are going to celebrate it in the Belinsky Park in Kyiv in a big way, from 8 o'clock in the morning till 8 o'clock in the evening. Thank you very much.